Hello, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So in this video, we are going to set up my November budget. So let's jump right into it. Alrighty, so for those of you who are new, this is the drill down budget planner that I created, and I'm using the light version. Even though we are 1 month ahead, I still break down on the monthly calendar our bills that are due by the first half of the month and then the last half of the month. So the first half of the month's bills are all in yellow, and then the last half of the month's bill are in orange. And then anything in like this turquoisey color is related to business expenses, and I'm still going to put them in like the first half of the month or the second half of the month, depending on where they fall. So the first half of the month dates are from the 1st through the 15th, and then the last half of the month is the 16th through the last day of the month. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the budget breakdown. So I already pre-filled this in just to make this video a little bit faster, but I do need to still go back and write down the bills according to which column they need to be in or which paycheck. So I will do that with you guys, but just to break down the numbers, our take-home pay is going to be $5,931.47, with 140 of it going to business, and then the remaining amount of $5,791.47 is what we're going to be using to pay all of the bills. Okay, so first and foremost, we are still saving for Bora Bora, but for our mortgage, it's going to be $1,917.82. Childcare is $132. So our rate did change now that our girls are 2 years old and they're in like the 2-year-old classrooms and no longer considered infants. So we do have to pay a slightly higher amount for them to be in that older classroom, but it's okay. Okay, so for hubby's life insurance, it's $69.96. My life insurance is $57.64. Vivint, which is our home security, is $57.14. Farmers, which is our car insurance, is $308.16. Frontier is $69.99, and I have this little asterisk next to it just because our bill did go down just by a couple of dollars a couple of months ago, but I never really paid attention, so I'm just putting that asterisk now that this is the new amount and I need to carry that amount forward to the next month. And then Verizon has been holding steady at $199 and some change, but I just rounded up because that change does fluctuate, so I don't want our cube to go negative because of a couple of cents. So I just rounded up to $200. Pest control is a quarterly bill, but we do set aside a monthly amount just so that when the bill is due every quarter, we're not having to fork out like $100 or so for this bill. So it's more manageable if we break it up every month. So that's $36.34. Netflix is $19.99. Our car loan is $256.29. Water and trash is $135. Electric is $50. Natural gas, I did look at our historical bills because I do have a utilities tracker in here that I just referenced to see about when should our bills start to change now that it's starting to get colder. And it seems like it's starting with October and slowly creeping up, and then in January it's going to be like the big kaboom and the natural gas is just going to fly through the roof. So we're taking steps to try and make sure it's not through the roof again this year like it was last year, because last year natural gas bills were just out of control and caught me completely by surprise, blew my cap all the way back. So hoping that won't happen this year. ID theft is $12.10. Pull-ups is $100. Oh my gosh, in the twos, the girls are starting to potty train, so hopefully these pull-ups will be a thing of the past very soon, but you know, we're not going to rush them, but I am seeing the light on these pull-ups and I'm so excited, cannot wait. And then groceries is $500. Costco is $400. Caffeine is $100, and gas is $500. But I was looking at our October gas and I'm thinking we're going to have to ramp that up to $600, but we'll see after October's budget closeout. And then Nelnet, let me tell you guys about this trifling. If you're not familiar, Nelnet is the loan servicer for student loans. Hubby is in medical school if you're new, and his loans are not due. They are deferred because he's still in school, but we're trying to stay on top of the interest that is being accrued so that once he graduates, the interest is not capitalized. So we're trying not to let that happen by paying down the interest that's accruing now, because it started accruing, I think, September. So anywho, I went in and I paid, this column right here is the October amount. So I went through and I looked to see which loans are accruing interest, because he does have subsidized and unsubsidized loans. So I just went through and I wrote down all of the amounts that was accruing last month, or I should say this month because it's still October. And then I wrote down how much we should pay according to each loan. And I did go in one by one and pay the interest that was due according to each loan. So what I got last month was $164.12, which is what we paid. But when I went in to write down what the interest was this month, because they're over there doing some magic math, I could just go on a tangent about this. But anywho, last month, one of the loans, they applied it to the principal instead of the interest, which I clearly do not understand, because what? They're supposed to apply it to the interest. Like, you're not supposed to be able to pay on your principal if there is interest due. So I don't even understand how that even happens. Somebody ain't doing a job. Somebody is asleep at the wheel, and I need them to wake up, because we need to get this right. But anyways, I went and I wrote down the amounts that were due for this month, and it's even higher because the interest that is now due on this loan that they misapplied is now about $50 higher. So these amounts for these loans did go down in some cases to almost half. So it kind of evened out, but I'm still annoyed. So anyways, so we're going to pay $182.70 towards the interest for his loans, even though they're not due. And then for Amazon Kids Plus is $4.99. So all of these bills, which are basically our 4 walls, is going to be $5,410.12. And then if you subtract that from our available income, we have a remaining amount of $521.35. This is the money that we start to put towards sinking funds and our different goals that we want to achieve throughout the month. So for now, I'm putting $140 towards the business, just because my channel isn't monetized. So I have to put money towards, the things that help me run this channel. So that's $140. And then we did volunteer to host Thanksgiving this year. So that's going to get $200. So we're going to split up the remaining $181.35 among sinking funds. And I do want to sit down sometime soon and figure out what my 2024 sinking funds are going to be, just because some of these can go, and then some of these amounts need to be updated because we have more time, since we're going to be starting a whole new year. But for now, the sinking funds that we're going to do this month of November is our son's birthday is going to get $50. We're still going to be putting towards that daycare material fee, $50, and then we're still putting towards my car registration, $38.50. And then I'm going to put the remainder in kids' Christmas, because each child is getting $100 for Christmas. And I've been saving up little by little. So they do have some money in there. So we, since it's so close and we're starting to see like what the grandparents are going to get the kids and stuff like that, and putting it all together, I think $100 per child would definitely do. And even if it didn't, that's all they're getting, because we're trying to concentrate on experiences and quality time over gifts. So yeah, that's why I'm restricting it to $100 per child. So, and plus my son's birthday is on December 2nd. So even though he's the oldest, he'll be 5, which is crazy to say, but he will have just had a birthday, just got a whole bunch of gifts, and the girls are 2. So, it's not a lot of gifts that need to happen this Christmas. So there's that. So total all that up, and it's $521.35. So if you take the income minus the expenses, both equal $5,931.47, which makes it a zero-based budget. So that's what I wanted. But again, I do need to break down into into categories of what paycheck they need to fall into, just because it helps me build the habit of keeping track of our expenses. I like to know about when the bill is going to hit, whether the first half of the month or the second half of the month. I did forget to say that we are going to a birthday party this month, so we are going to get a gift, but this gift is going to come from some money that we already have set aside in the sinking fund. So that's why I didn't put an amount here. I just wrote it so that it would be a visual reminder. So, and yeah, I have it right there, but I didn't put a little dot sticker. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. I think I want to use, I'll do a pink for her birthday, just so it stands out, because that is going to require some action from me. So I needed to stand out so that I make sure that I get the gift card early enough. So alrighty, so I'm gonna write all of these bills in either column 1 if they're in yellow, or column 2 if they're orange, and then anything turquoise I'll split amongst the 2 paychecks depending on the date. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and split up the expenses by either paycheck 1 or paycheck 2, and as long as these amounts equal the budgeted amount, then I know I did it right, and they do, so that is fine. And then what happens after this is I go ahead and just start tracking my expenses. I did start to write down some things that would happen throughout the month for the daycare and then the gas, just because I almost forgot to track those this month in October. So I just went ahead and pre-wrote those in my November transaction log so that I already have a designated space for them, and it's a visual reminder for me. So I'll go through and I'll write down my expenses throughout the month, and then at the end of the month, I'll go ahead and do a budget closeout. And for this month in November, I am going to compare actual expenses from October to actual expenses in November, because the month isn't over yet for October, but I'm already seeing more value in comparing my actual month expenses from month to month versus the budgeted amount versus the actual amount for that current month. And I'll get more into it in my month-end closeout video, which there's only a couple more days until the end of October. So once October ends, I'll be able to finalize all the numbers and come and do my budget closeout with you guys, which will be very exciting because it's probably my first one that I've done since the year started. And I'll share like everything that I did in order to be successful this month in creating a budget closeout. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's make sure that I actually finish up the month strong, and then actually come to you guys with a budget closeout. So, but that's basically my budgeting process from start to finish, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I hope you guys have a fun and safe Halloween, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.